Thank you so much. I am both humbled and delighted to accept this endorsement of the hardworking healthcare professionals of the state of Vermont. Thanks to you for everything that you do. This endorsement is tremendously important because we need a governor who's going to address the real challenges that Vermonters and our employers are facing in these challenging times. Why is this so important? We know that Washington has just passed a health care bill. What we know about that bill is that the pharmaceutical companies, the insurance companies, and the special interests spent over $1 million a day to ensure that real health care reform did not come to Vermont. I've asked Vermonters time and time again, if you think that the federal bill will solve your problems, will solve our problems as a state, please stand up. I've seen very few stand up. As governor, this is what we must do. Get our health care spending under control. Get the for-profit insurance companies out of the picture so that we can allow our hardworking professionals to make us healthier instead of filling out forms and being second-guessed by insurance companies who have no intention of making Vermonters healthier. What's the challenge? Tomorrow, Vermonters will spend $1 million more than we spent today on health care. The biggest challenge for our small businesses and for Vermonters across this state, Vermont families, is the rising cost of health care. How bad is the problem? $1 million a day, up from the day before. In the last 8 years, Vermonters have spent $2.5 billion every year more than they spent the year before. $2.5 billion hidden tax on every small business, every Vermont family that is both unaffordable and unjustified. As governor, I will have the courage to work with our hard-working providers to pass a system that contains costs, that delivers quality health care to every Vermonter where it is a right and not a privilege. A health care system where it is no longer our employers' responsibility to provide health insurance for their employees. That's a job starter and a jobs creator. We will get it done. I do not and will not take money from the pharmaceutical industry to fund this campaign because we know what happens when politicians do. Change does not happen. Let me say this. I know this from the grassroots. As a small business owner who's had more than my share of success in this state, this is what we face. For our 15 to 18 full-time employees, we've watched our costs go from affordable to unaffordable. Now we spend roughly $110,000 underinsuring our hardworking employees. Change must happen, or all of us will find we can't grow jobs, we can't grow prosperity, and we can't deliver a quality healthcare system if costs are rising as fast as they are. I have both the courage and the knowledge to address big challenges, make big change. This is an opportunity for Vermont to create jobs, put Vermonters back to work, save $2.5 billion a year. If we go with my opponent's plan, I guarantee you this, we'll be spending $2.5 billion more every year than we are this year in 8 years delivering health care. Bold leadership, bold ideas, bold change. I'm going to work with our congressional delegation, the best delegation in the country, with our nurses, with our docs, with our providers, to make the changes we need to make to have an affordable quality health care. When Vermont leads, we know that the other states will follow. Let's show how to do it right. Thank you so much. All of us will be happy to take questions on this subject if you'd like.
Can you expand on your issue with politicians taking money from pharmaceutical industries?
Sure. You know, Vermonters know what the problem is. Politicians from both parties take huge amounts of money from pharmaceutical companies, from insurance companies, from the other healthcare special interests, and we get stuck with a system that doesn't work. We get stuck with a system that's bankrupting us. You know, the great thing about Vermont is we have the best healthcare delivery system in the country. Our doctors, our nurses, our providers are honest. They work hard. What's their biggest problem? Insurance companies second guessing the decisions that they know how to make without insurance companies. If we have a governor who's not taking the pharmaceutical money, who's not influenced by the special interests, but working for the people of the state of Vermont, small businesses, the hardworking families, we can design a system that will contain costs and work for all Vermonters.
You're gonna ask the legislature to go through with considerable time and effort to approve a single-payer healthcare system. Then you're going to go down to Washington and ask the House of Representatives, led by Speaker John Boehner, or at best, from your perspective, Nancy Pelosi, with maybe a margin of 5, including 30 who oppose single-payer healthcare, to give you a waiver. At what point does determination become just being delusional?
Well, that's a great question. And you know, no one will doubt my determination to get tough things done. My opponent said the other day of my strengths, when asked to say something nice about me, Peter Shumlin gets tough things done. That's what concerns me. He'll actually deliver on what he needs to get done.
Yeah, but how are you going to do that with a much more conservative Congress than this one that wouldn't do single payer?
Well, first of all, I never judge elections until they happen. Second, I think that whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, regardless of what party you are from, you understand that the rising cost of health care in America and in Vermont will bankrupt our small businesses and bankrupt our families. Members of all parties get that. And I know that we have the single best congressional delegation in the country in Senator Leahy, Senator Sanders, and Congressman Welch. I'm convinced that with a Democratic Democratic governor that got on board with President Obama long before it was fashionable, and the best congressional delegation in the country, I particularly will have qualities that it will take to get the waivers that we need to make the change that we must make.
One member of that federal delegation, Senator Leahy, has accepted more than $72,000 since 2005 in campaign contributions from either the pharmaceutical industry or the health products industry. Any concerns about what sort of influence that might have on his decision making?
Let me say first, there's not very many people I can think of that work harder for the people of Vermont than Senator Leahy. Second, most important, it's going to be the governor of Vermont the resolve to build a system for the state of Vermont that contains cost and makes sense. The question is not who in Washington takes the special interest money, because we know they all do. The question is, in the governor's race in the state of Vermont, do we want a candidate who will pledge not to take pharmaceutical money, not to take money from the insurance companies, and who actually has the resolve to get this very difficult task done? I do. I will work as tirelessly as I can to deliver on the vision that we've just outlined.
How can you lament the influence of big pharma health insurance on politicians without indicting the politicians that accept it?
Well, you know, we've all got to do what we think is right in public service. I have a long history of taking on big pharma. If there's anyone in this country who big pharma doesn't really like, it's me. I helped to found the National Legislative Association of the states that have come together to take on the terrible pricing policy where they gouge Americans who are sick and give the rest of the world a free pass on the medicines that we all need to stay healthy. So I don't think there's been any question that I have the resolve and the commitment to take on the special interests, to pass a healthcare system that allows small business to